OOP's boyfriend discourages healthy lifestyle. I am not the op, but I did type this on mobile. This is from our relationship advice and posted by you, Violet Pilot 97. First post from 4 days ago. Boyfriend seems to actively discourage me trying to be healthier? Edit. I've posted an update here if anyone cares. In the last 1 year, due to my mental health issues and some medication, I've gained a lot of weight. 40 pounds. I'm finally in a place financially and mentally where I'm starting to feel motivated enough to exercise and eat better again. But my boyfriend tries to actively discourage this behavior. If I'm eating healthy or cooking at home, he will stock the fridge up with junk and unhealthy snacks that he knows I tend to binge on. When confronted, he claims they're for him but he barely touches them. But I end up comfort eating every time I'm anxious simply cause they're available easily at home. If I'm going for a run or home workout, he will come up with plans at that very moment. I know it seems like a stretch, but I feel like he has something against me losing weight. I tried to bring this up, but he laughed it off, saying I'm being absurd. But this legit happens every single time. Anyone has any explanations for why this might be the case? Edit. If it matters. I'm 24F and he's 37M. Relevant comments. 1 commenter. The top 2 things that come to mind are: 1. He likes the extra weight but doesn't want to tell you. 2. He's worried about you getting in shape and leaving him. These are complete guesses because I don't know him or the situation. These are just a couple of common things that came to mind. OP's 2 replies. First, he has previously made fat jokes about my body before I decided to get back in shape. Nothing that hurt me too much, but stuff that made it clear that he thinks I'm overweight. Second, he's been supportive of everything else I do, like taking up a new hobby or excelling at work. I tried to ask him outright, but he always seems to brush this particular topic aside. He has stopped with the fat jokes too suddenly. And when we are intimate, his body language has started to feel like he likes the extra flesh. This next comment is actually mine link. It's possible he has a feeder fetish. So that might be worth the Google. Update from today 18 hours ago. Update. Boyfriend seems to actively discourage me trying to be healthier. I posted about this a few days ago about me. 24F. And BF. 37M. Here. First of all, thanks everyone for your comments and advice. I really appreciate all the responses. After reading a bunch of comments that mostly revolved around him trying to keep me unhealthy and overweight so that I'd always be insecure, and a few people suggesting he liked the extra flesh on me or has a feeder fetish, I had no idea something like this exists till I read it here. I decided to have an outright confrontation. Again. At first, he as usual tried to laugh it off and said I'm taking myself too seriously, but then I broke down and begged him to clarify things while I was in tears. 'Cause my medication has led to me gaining a lot of weight, but I finally have the motivation to do something about it. After a couple of hours of me crying and reiterating all of this plus my mental health issues that are worsening due to this, he finally told the truth. It's something I was dreading. He accepted that he has always been fascinated with feederism but never tried it out with any of his exes 'cause they've always been athletic and thought it would be harmless with me 'cause I'm already overweight. I was stunned and heartbroken. I'm not the one to kink shame, but this honestly does seem like something unethical and abusive. If not the fetish in itself, then definitely his approach to it. I completely lost it and yelled at him that how could he even think about doing something like this without me consenting or even knowing about it. He kept on insisting that I look better with the weight and that he wasn't open about it 'cause I'd react exactly like how I'm reacting now. He also said he wouldn't be as attracted to me as he is now if I became slimmer. I was speechless after a point. He thinks I'm overreacting. He's asleep right now, but I'm reconsidering this whole relationship. I definitely need a break. If not a breakup. I've decided I'm going to ask him to stay at his own apartment while I think things through. I'm disgusted and so hurt. Edit. I really appreciate all the comments here. And I am going to have a talk with him first thing today and put an end to things. It's causing me a lot of pain to dump him tbh cuz I do love him, but what he did is so cruel. Thank you again for all the advice. I'm reading all the comments and they're all super helpful and something I really need right now. EDIT2. Most of you are being really kind here, but those of you who are messaging me, asking me things like if I'm stupid or if I have any self-respect. Are you FR? Also, don't expect any replies whatsoever. I've enough emotional trauma going on without having to entertain your cruelty. Update 3 hours ago. I didn't see this until now, so new update. Hi, thank you so much for expressing concern. I spoke to him and asked him to pack his things and leave. He was upset, but he didn't flip or anything. He tried to insist that he will work on this and not do anything against my wishes again, but I just couldn't look at him the same. After a while, he became overly affectionate too, but I managed to stand my ground. Eventually he left. I have blocked him everywhere and called a few friends to stay over tonight. I'm really sorry that I was right about the feeder fetish. I hope the oop has a much better life without him. WTF, telling her she's fat and overweight plus his fetish. That's insane. Hi, thank you so much for expressing concern. I spoke to him and asked him to pack his things and leave. He was upset, but he didn't flip or anything. He tried to insist that he will work on this and not do anything against my wishes again, but I just couldn't look at him the same. After a while, he became overly affectionate too, but I managed to stand my ground. Eventually he left. I have blocked him everywhere and called a few friends to stay over tonight. Update was 3 hours ago. I am glad she got past the love bombing and stood her ground. Oop needs to run fast. Kinks should be consensual. Edit. Kinks should also be discussed and agreed upon by both parties. If I had a nickel every time I read a posts about their partner secretly having a feeder fetish and secretly using them for it, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Edit. My first gold, and it's for a Phineas and Ferb reference. Amazing. Thanks, kind stranger. Let me say this clearly for anyone who doesn't realize it. Forcing your fetishes onto others without their consent is sexual abuse. Period. Anyone who would do this to you, whether it's feederism, handcuffs, DDLG, whatever, without your knowing and enthusiastic consent is abusing you for their own sexual gratification. Run. Because if they're willing to dehumanize you to that extreme in one part of the relationship, they will do it in every part eventually. Kinks, like anything involving sex, have to be consensual. She has to run and do it fast. Why is it almost all 25F and 39M are just abusive AF? Unethical doesn't begin to cover how terrible this man's behavior is. My boyfriend has some particular fetishes, and he spent more than 2 years helping me to feel comfortable enough with him in the bedroom to even start trying them out. I now enjoy them as much as he does. But he took a lot of time to make absolutely sure I was completely okay with everything that we do. We also discussed everything in depth beforehand, and he constantly checks in with me during sex to make sure I still feel comfortable and safe with whatever we're doing. That is how you share a fetish with a partner. This man's behavior, while not legally a crime, is criminal. I hope she tosses his ass out. Just once I would like the answer to not be a secret fetish. Age gaps like this always skeeve me out because there always seems to end up being a control issue. If it matters, I'm 24 and he's 37. Yeah, it matters. Real question. There are a lot of women that enjoy being bigger, are confident in their skin, and love to eat. Why would someone with that fetish not be more interested in finding someone like that versus finding someone that hates being overweight and wants to lose weight? If it matters, I'm 24F and he's 37M. Yeah, it matters lol. Wanna bet the more athletic X's he didn't try this on were his age? Not saying all age gaps are abusive, but there is a high chance when one party is a teenager, early 20s, and often the older party chooses the younger party for their lack of experience, which makes them easier to control and abuse. If you think that your partner would react negatively to something you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. How hard is that to understand? What is a feeder fetish? I'm afraid to Google it in case it's something other than wanting a person to eat more to keep them overweight or something like that. Edited. Thank you for responses. I understand what it is now, and it's something that most certainly needs to be consensual. Just wow that the BF was doing this and totally sabotaging her efforts to get off on. Not do anything against my wishes again. You shouldn't have to ask someone you love to not sabotage you. I remember reading and feeling so unsettled. It's one thing to be physically assaulted and abused, and we tend to know how to differentiate traditional abuse. But this is an assault on another level. The lack of consent, the active manipulation, the planning, the coldness of abject curiosity. It's sociopathic. I think there needs to be some kind of law that specifies that trying out kinks on people without their consent is some kind of assault. Some kinks aren't obviously sexual but are still damaging without the person's consent, and the abuser needs legal consequences. I read one post on here where a guy was gaining a crazy amount of weight despite not changing his eating habits and exercising regularly. He found out his GF was putting insane amounts of cheese and oil and sugar in his food because she had a feeder fetish. Now he has to deal with the health consequences of her actions. And she just gets to live her life? Fetishes need to be performed with both parties' consent. A woman can't spontaneously come into the bedroom with a strap-on, ready for peg time. A man can't intentionally secretly alter his partner's diet to force them to gain weight because he's a chubby chaser, feeder. We shouldn't kink shame, but sexy time is all about consent.
That age gap though.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.